up, my channel? It's your friendly neighborhood sassy blonde writer coming at you with another writing video. Today we are doing an Authortube tag of Would You Rather. I got this idea from Joey Paul's channel, who I will link to down below. Love their channel, and I love this effect that we comment on each other's stuff. It's like we have a little friendship going back and forth. So like, it's super cool. Check out their videos; they're awesome. So it's asking a bunch of questions of just like, you know, would you rather questions. I think anybody who's interested in doing this Authortube tag should totally do it. So let's just dive right in. Question 1. Would you rather have a male main character or a female main character? Usually like my default character is female main character unless I have a particular story in mind to write. That's just usually my default go-to. So yeah, I definitely say female main character is what I usually write. Question 2. Would you rather wake up before dawn every day to write or stay up into the early morning hours to write? I'm not a morning person, so I would 100% rather stay into the early morning hours to write than wake up early every day. I can barely wake up on time as it is. Question 3. Would you rather write a book that is torturous to write but is very popular, or write a book that is fun to write but is only known by a small audience? You know, I'd probably have to go with the first one, which is write a book that is torturous to write but is very popular, because, you know, yeah, I'd be putting myself through a lot, but like at least something would come out of it. So I feel like there was at least a payoff for the torture that it was to write the book. I feel like at least I got something. But then I could just write a book that's fun to write, and then I wouldn't really have to care because the first one was super successful. Question 4. Would you rather write a sci-fi story or a fantasy story? I'm a fantasy gal through and through. I don't know why. I feel a lot of pressure with sci-fi stories. Like, I feel like I have to research some type of science to do it. But with fantasy, I can just kind of make stuff up. I prefer to just make things up with fantasy, so fantasy, die hard. Question 5. Use first person or third person. Well, personally, that depends on the type of story I'm writing, because each point of view has its pros and cons. But generally, my default is first person. I feel personally that first person is the easiest way for me to get into the head of the character, because then I feel like I'm literally the character because I'm writing as them. So, question 6. Would you rather meet any character of any book/short story in real life for one day, or personally know any author you wish? Ooh, this one's tough. What's that saying? Don't meet your heroes, but I meet like one of my favorite authors in real life. What if they're actually like a jerk in real life and I know them personally? Like, what if that's not a good thing? What if I wish I didn't know them personally? You know what? After thinking about it, I think I would personally want to know. It's gonna sound like such a cop-out and people are probably gonna hate me a little bit for this. So I would personally want to know Jane Austen as the author, because Jane Austen basically, from what I can tell about her life, she basically took like different facets of her personality and kind of put that into her like books. The different types of protagonists that she has, the female protagonists, are basically different personality traits that she has. So I feel like if I met her and I got to know her personally, I'd also be able to get to know her different characters. Like, I get to know the real Lizzie Bennet because I'd know the person who created her, and I get to know Emma Woodhouse, and I get to know the other people. I didn't read the other books. I get to know more about Jane Austen. I'd love to just pick her brain. And I'd also love to just know her personally, because also she seems like she'd be like a total party girl. She seems like she'd be fun to hang out with, like party like it's 1700. I'd go with personally know Jane Austen, the author. Question 7. Would you rather only be able to write your book in scenes from end to beginning, or only be able to write in scenes that jump around in the timeline randomly? Well, if you've watched some of my videos, you know that one of these is how I write normally. So, question is really, would I rather do something else, or would I rather do what I normally do? I mean, go with the devil you know, right? So, I'd have to pick only be able to write my book in scenes that jump around in the timeline randomly, because I mean, that's what I do now. Nothing would really change that much. Question 8. Would you rather only be able to write dialogue if you act out the voices out loud, or only be able to write action if you acted it out in real life? Ooh, I mean, I'm definitely gonna go with dialogue just because I feel like that'd be a lot easier to explain to people. Because I mean, if I'm just writing, if people overhear me saying something and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I was just talking to myself, people will be like, oh, okay, that's fine. But I mean, if I'm writing a sword fight and people see that, they'd probably be mildly concerned. So I'm gonna go with I'd rather have to only be able to write dialogue if I act the voices out loud. I normally do that anyway, so nothing much would change. Question 9. Would you rather publish with the most successful publishing house in your genre, but have to wait 2 years to see your book in print, or self-publish with no expense or marketing assistance, but see your book in print within 3 months? I'd rather publish with the publishing house, with the most successful publishing house in my genre. I don't know the details about the finances. All I know is that all the expenses fall on you. But my main concern is I'm really bad at self-promotion and marketing. Yeah, because I would want marketing assistance for sure, because that would just stress me out. Especially having my book in print within 3 months, because with my luck, yeah, you got your book in print within 3 months, then you're stuck with 1,000 copies in your teeny tiny apartment. So yeah, I'm gonna go with have people help me, please. Thank you. Question 10. Would you rather write a goofy story or write a serious story? I mean, what mood am I in? Well, it's like a serious time right now. 2021, the world's on fire still. So I go with a goofy story, because I mean, my NaNoWriMo book last year was supposed to be a serious story, and I could not handle it. It was a rough time. So yeah, I'm going with a goofy story, at least for now. Question 11. Would you rather have an authorial voice that always sounds like the narrator from Planet Earth, or have an authorial voice that always sounds like Captain Kirk? Pretty sad that neither of these options are like the narrator from Arrested Development. It wasn't. I guess I'll go with Captain Kirk, because then I'd just probably laugh and be like, why are you talking like that? Everybody is so dramatic in my mind. Question 12. Would you rather write a story knowing you will have to kill off the main character eventually, or write a story knowing that everyone the main character is close to you will eventually have to kill off? Why do I have to kill off anybody? I'm the writer. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. Watch this channel before you know that killing off characters is probably one of my least favorite things to do. It's one of my least favorite things to see. I mean, I think I have to go with the latter. Write a story knowing that everyone the main character is close to you will eventually have to kill off, because I mean, I've never written a story. I've killed off characters before, but I've never written a story where the main character gets killed off. So I don't even know how I would begin to write that. But I could at least write the main characters dealing with grief and their reactions to losing the people they love. I could at least write that. I don't like this question. Question 13. Would you rather leave your ending somewhat open and bittersweet, or leave your ending on a cliffhanger? So I hate cliffhangers a lot when I'm watching something and they leave it on a cliffhanger, because it's the season finale, so they just leave you on a cliffhanger, what's gonna happen? Is everybody gonna survive? And I'm just yeah, I hate cliffhangers a lot, so definitely not gonna do that to people. So yeah, leave my ending somewhat open and bittersweet. Cliffhangers are always so rushed too, because it's you get to the climax of the book and then it's supposed to be the resolution, and then the cliffhanger is just it's just a stop where it's but you were supposed to resolve the story. Why didn't you resolve the story? No, we will not be doing that. Watch years from now I get published and I have to have a cliffhanger, and then people are you said you'd never do that, and then I'm I'm sorry, somebody told me to. But I'm not a fan of cliffhangers, so I try to avoid them. So I'd probably leave my ending somewhat open and bittersweet. And if it was supposed to lead into a sequel or something, I'd probably have like one question unanswered, one or two questions unanswered, so that way you have a reason to read the following book. Yeah, no cliffhangers. Question 14. Have your cover art designed by Tim Burton or have your cover art designed by Stan Lee? Aww, Stan Lee. I love Stan Lee. I'm a big comic book fan, but I also am a Tim Burton fan. But Tim Burton, I don't know if he'd always match the theme of my book. I feel like Stan Lee would try a little bit harder to not, superimpose his views, his artistic style onto mine and kind of try to match what I'm going for more, so I'd go with Stan Lee. Question 15. Would you rather write in many different genres or write only in one genre? I mean, I already write in different genres, so question asked and answered. Question 16. Write a physical disability or a mental illness. This is an interesting question because I think with both of these you have to do a lot of research. You have to make sure you are respectful, especially if you are an able-bodied person or a neurotypical person. You have to make sure you do a lot of research. I think I just have more of a background knowledge in mental health, so I would be more comfortable writing mental illness versus physical disability, because that just happens to be where I have more knowledge, I guess. Question 17. Would you rather have an orphaned main character with good friends or a main character with a good-sized family and family problems? I mean, like, one of my favorite tropes is the found family trope. I love it. I'm trash for this trope. Probably go with the orphaned main character with good friends because I love the found family trope so much. Question 18. Would you rather write the sexy scene or not write the sexy scene? Not write the sexy scene. Question 19. Write about uncertain dangers and intrigue or write about direct confrontation and violence. I mean, it depends on the type of story I'm trying to write. I think it's more fun to write about uncertain dangers and intrigue because there's a lot more you can do with playing with suspense and tension. Yeah, I'd go with that one. Last question. Question 20. Would you rather have to answer any question put to you by your fans or have no fans asking you questions? I feel like this is a dangerous question. Because if I say yes if I pick the first one, I open myself up to various personal questions. However, if I pick the second one, then I sound like I don't want fans, or I'm really antisocial. It's bad if I pick the second one, because I don't know what it's like. I'm a small Authortuber. I have a very small channel, so I don't know what it's like to have people ask me a lot of questions. So, I'm gonna have to go with the second one because I just know I can't relate to the first one at all. Alright, that's the end of the author tag. Would you rather? I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit that like button if you enjoy these little Authortube tags, little get to know you fun times. This tag is available for anybody who wants to do it. Thank you again to Joey Paul for making me aware of it, and I am linking to the original videos down below. Please remember to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Wednesdays, and of course,